All right, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be, my flight simming friends. Now, everybody's catching on to how cool the eVTOLs are. And in the developer interview, they said there was a way to dial in exact speeds. And I've figured it out. But I'm just using the default setup. I'm using one joystick. I don't have a game controller, and I don't have the two joystick setup. Okay, so I hope this helps you. And I hope you also possibly discover other cool ways to configure it to do the same thing. Now, in a nutshell, if you don't want to stick around, let me make this as fast as possible. Your throttle control, imagine, just set it in the middle and imagine that's neutral. Okay, if you want to go forward, push it forward and then bring it back to neutral. If you want to go, let's say 1 knot, push it forward, bring it back to neutral. You want to go 2 knots, push it forward, bring it back to neutral. Simple as that. Okay, now let me show you how it's done. I really wanted to be able to fly this thing, at whatever speed that I want. And right at the moment, and the way that they teach you and in the instructions, you've got like 3 ways to fly it. You can fly it in hover mode. You can fly it in first level acceleration, which is up to 97 knots, I believe. And then the third way is all the way open over 100 knots, right? Okay, this is such a lovely, wonderful aircraft, and I wish it was way more simple for everybody to just jump into, and it works, and, you know, because it's just so cool. Anyway, let's turn this knob all the way to fly. No crazy startup procedures, just put it to fly. Okay, wait for the avionics to come up. Press this button to turn on that avionics. No, what we're going to be looking for, what happens when you move your throttle. You see this here where it says control margins? Okay, so your throttle will, when I move my throttle, you'll see that move. Okay, so if I push it all the way forward, or if I push it all the way back, you see that, and then the ball goes back to the center. Okay, so let me center my joystick. Again, it's wonky, right? Okay, so there's my joystick in the center position, or my throttle slider on my joystick in the center position. All right, to take off and land, and it's got a lovely auto assist landing, so you don't have to, like helicopters, you got to worry about crashing into the ground. You don't have to worry. These are the greatest things since sliced bread, man. This is the future of aviation. I'm telling you right now. What's the point of rolling death dice every single time you come in for a landing, or even taking off, right? There's no point anymore if this technology is now available. Okay, so I've just got us up here, and again, you'll see here, once you just lift off, you're in hover mode. Then they tell you to accelerate, but again, if you use, and again, I don't know what is the bug in this thing. I would have made sure that if I was going to release the greatest thing in aviation technology since sliced bread, I would make sure that it would work right in 2024, and you wouldn't be constantly getting these engine malfunction errors. Anyway, they don't actually seem to be hurting anything or doing anything, so just disregard them for right now. Okay, why we're not hovering, I'm not entirely sure either. In a stable position, we shouldn't be moving forward. We should be hovering. So anyway, it's still a little bit buggy, but what they do to tell you now is to accelerate by pushing this thing forward. But again, that will only get you up to 97 knots, and then the next time you push it forward, you're in full speed flight. Okay, and then if you bring it back, it's just, you go back to 97 knots, then if you press it again, you come back to hover mode. All right, now using the joystick, the throttle on the joystick, we slide it forward, push it 1 time forward, and then put it back to center. There, well, right now it says 13 knots. Is it doing it by itself? Of course it's going to be buggy on when I try to give this demonstration. It seems like it's now speeding itself up. All right, well, right now it says I'm at 16 knots. So now if I start rocking it back towards basically to idle position and center, idle, center, idle. Now it's going back down 16 knots, 14 knots, 13 knots. 11, 10, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 1. Okay. Yeah, it's not perfect. Okay, so you see now you can dial in exact speed. Now let me do the opposite. Let me put the joystick all the way forward and then back to center. Okay, so instead of going to 2, it went to 3. Okay, no big deal. You can always drop it back down to 2. No, there it goes. Pushing it forward, back to center. Pushing it forward, back to center. Pushing it forward, back to center. I guess I'm leaving it, I guess I'm not all the way putting it all the way to the center because it keeps, if I leave it too far forward, looks like it's going to keep advancing on me. Let me push it forward a little bit. That time it's not. Okay. The joystick is in a, I keep saying joystick, the throttle is in full forward now. It's holding at 18. So let me start rocking it back and forth again. All the way forward, center. All the way forward, center. Wow, big jump, 27 knots. So you got, you know, okay, so if I guess if I'm really fast on it, just fast forward and back to center. If I leave it too long or go too slow, it looks like it's jumping too far. 29, 30. All right, so that's it. And again, you can probably figure out how to control it different. But again, right at the moment, the only thing that you learn from the instruction manual is just to accelerate. Again, you push this button here forward 1 time. Looks like it toggled 2 times. So now we're going full speed, 117. Yeah, and of course it's going to be buggy when I go to do a demo. Bring it back 1 time. And that puts us into speed decelerate. And again, I think it's being touchy today because it now went all the way back down to, it should go into hover mode. There we go. So there is a way for you to dial in your exact speed if you don't want to just use hover. 97 knots and then 117. Okay, so 96 knots. Okay, so I pushed it forward 1 time, and this should make the transition. Gotta love those nacelles, Captain. Okay, so 96 knots. And there we are. If I push forward again, now we go 117. So if you don't want to muck about with going exact speeds, but I think this thing would be wonderful for sightseeing and, you know, really getting yourself where you want to be to get a good photo. It's too bad at the moment I don't believe you can use this for any of your world photography stuff, which pain in the butt. What do we have here? No VTOL. Well, yeah, we're in full flight. Again, to the developers that created this, the JOBY and the Jetson, look, this is the future of aviation, and you're the first ones really to be debuted, other than the military stuff, the Osprey. You were the first ones being shown to the world and showing the world what the future of aviation is going to be. You're the tip of the spear. You need to make sure this works perfect. Okay? I'm a bit, it's not even my company. If it was my company, I would be all over your butts right now for not releasing 100 videos on how to fly this thing. And making sure that it isn't throwing out all these engine failure warnings all over the place. If there's a reason for that, if we're doing something wrong, please tell us why it would be doing that. They've not been very talkative in the forums. Everybody that is trying this, though, that is into knowing what the future of aviation is, they're loving it. They all love it. Everybody loves it. This should be the aircraft that is on every commercial for Microsoft Simulator saying, you don't think you can fly? Well, you can now, Grandma. Anybody can fly. See the world. You can be flying and see the entire world in 15 minutes. So I think you've all, including Microsoft, you've all done a really bad job at presenting the future and getting people excited about it and boosting your sales by people getting excited about it and by really promoting that anybody can fly. So please get this working correctly, beautifully, and then start letting everybody know about it. It's just one more thing on the notch of things that has gone bad for the release of 2024. Anyway, that's my rant. I hope that helps. Let me put this thing back into, let's see if I can start slowing down now and control my speed this way. Yeah, this works just fine. There's 110, 108, 7, 5, 4. I'm assuming that, I can bring it all the way back down. Yeah, remember to recharge your batteries. Now that warning I can understand. Low energy. All right, so that's it. That's how you can control your speeds exactly in the Archer Midnight. Again, I can't wait to see other ways that you come up with configuring it or figuring it out. And again, I'm not using a controller. I don't want to use a game controller. But again, people that want the future, they're like, look, I don't even like using a joystick. I'm used to the game controllers. I want to be able to fly, and I want it to fly like the way my Xbox works. Well, you can. And I'm sure it probably works beautifully with a game controller. Anyway, you have a wonderful time flying out there, captains. And soon to be captains, you're going to love this. And it's got so many other cool functions like all the autopilot functions and things you can do with it. So if you think that, look, that's too much to learn, it's too hard. No, it's not. Anybody can fly now. And moving forward, anybody's going to be able to fly. 15 minutes, folks. Seriously. Of course, there's a lot you're going to want to learn after that, but it just takes off so much pressure to think, I just can't. It's too much. It's too much. There's too much going on. So, enjoy.